So, Molly, I'll answer your question about what
Brady.
Ryan Clark said. I'm with Ryan Clark. When you look at it, who really would want that, right? You say, well, it's Tom Brady. He went to the Super Bowl 10 times. He's won 7 of them. Look what he did his first year in Tampa. Yes, and everything was aligned perfectly for Tom Brady. He had an offensive line. He had tight ends. He had receivers. He had a nice running game. He had a defense, one of the top defenses in the league. The situation has got to be perfect. Can he still play football? Yes. But these situations now that's available, the Houstons, the Carolinas, the Raiders, them situations ain't New Orleans. Them ain't perfect situations that he had when he went from New England to Tampa Bay. You know, who is he going to replace in a perfect situation? Who is he going to replace? So for me, it's like, if I'm him, I'm looking at retirement anyway. I'm not looking to be trying to chase another ring. Why would I be chasing another ring to go play for the Raiders or go play in Houston or go play in Carolina? Like, what? No, man. Just what I saw last night ain't even it.
Well, let me say this. I agree with you that he should retire, but I still think he's better than half the quarterbacks in the league. He had a bad night, man. He had a bad night.
Yeah, but
let me say this. But you look at the Raiders. Let's look at two scenarios. And then
Raiders
I'll let
ain't
you
got
go.
an offensive line.
Okay. I'm looking at a Devontae Adams. I'm looking at Waller and those brothers. You got some weapons there. Miami, if Tua and those concussion issues ain't resolved, he got a chance to throw it to Tyreek Hill or Jalen Waddle. You trying to tell me? I'm not saying he shouldn't retire. Please don't get me wrong. But if he wants to play, those are viable situations now.
But if he wants to play, he's playing for a championship. He ain't playing to play. If he just want to play,
I agree
he
with
can
that.
play anywhere.
What's wrong with
Miami ain't no champion.
Miami with Tom Brady?
Team. It's not that defense is not good. That defense is not good.
I think what everybody caught up on, and this is the hard part when what you're saying about Tom Brady is everybody caught up on the numbers, right? Like we talked about last year. He threw for 5,000 yards. He could still play the game at a very high level. And we all know that Tom Brady can still throw. We've seen the display of arm strength. We've seen all of those things. But Stephen A. last night, and I said Tom Brady should go home a month ago, right? and this is not the first bad performance that we've seen. Like we have a lot of evidence this year, and I get it that the offensive line, but all of those situations are unpredictable, right? You could go into a situation great, and you could end up like Joe Burrow, where 3 of your starting offensive linemen are injured and out in a particular situation. You could deal with guys like Tom Brady trying to figure out what the right situation is at this point has a lot to do with what other guys are deciding to do on those teams. You got the Las Vegas Raiders with Josh Jacobs coming up. What are they going to do with him? Because we know Tom Brady needs a run game. They also got to get an offensive line, to Key's point.
I agree with that.
Defensively is what carried Tampa to a Super Bowl. As great as Tom was, defensively is the reason they won. You ain't walking into the Raiders facility with no great defense. So I know everybody is talking about that.
Let me ask y'all a question. Can I ask y'all a question?
Yes.
Why the hell was this man throwing the ball 66 times?
Stephen A.
Because
Go ahead, Key.
Well, first of all, they was behind. They falling behind. The run game was non-existent. So you gotta figure out, okay, what's the weakness of the Dallas defense? Most likely it's that secondary. All they got is Diggs over there. Then Kurtz gets hurt. So now you like, okay, well, our strength is our passing game because our skill position players in Godwin and Evans, we can put the football in their hands and we can try to make some hay doing that. When you get behind the way they was getting behind, they're going to throw the ball 66 times. So hopefully that answered your question because they could not run it.
I'll say this too, because last night he had a trash play when he tried to trip the defender that got the ball, right? So I was not in the mood to be a little bit sensitive. Let's be real though, Stephen A. and Key. Tom looked bad, bro.
Yeah, no.
And I'm not talking about his play. He looks afraid to play the quarterback position in the NFL. And that, to me, last night watching that game, beyond his play, he made a good throw to Julio, made a couple throws. But this man saw pressure coming in through the ball in the ground.
Because he already knew, though, Swagoo, what was
That's what
Okay,
I'm
wait,
saying.
Can I ask a question, though? But how much of that's on Tom? How much of that's on the O-line? And how much blame does a coach
But Molly, that's the
deserve in
point.
terms of play call?
Yeah.
But that's the
it's gotta
point
be
that I'm
perfect.
saying. The predictability of that being perfect is very rare in the NFL. Like in Tampa, when he walked into Tampa his first year, it was a really good offensive line. They hit a
Perfect.
home run on a draft pick with
Yes.
Tristan Wirfs. And
Yes.
defensively, this team was dominant, turning
Yes.
the football over. Like we saw what they did to Patrick Mahomes, and we saw Patrick Mahomes' offensive line have issues in that Super Bowl as to the reason why they couldn't compete at a very high level. But last night, all right, we could focus on this play and we could talk about that. I'm sure we're going to have much more conversation about Tom Brady and what other team would take him or wouldn't take him. He was afraid to play last night. And that is an indication to me that, one, what we're saying about the situation being perfect, but the other part is Tom Brady looked like a guy that this league has gotten too fast for.
So
and I
here's
know
what
people are
would
going to be
say.
afraid to say that, but that's what it looked like last night.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.